Welcome to Chinwag Tuesdays, your passport to a world of language and culture.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chinwag Tuesdays. I'm Amanda, and today's special guest is Josh. He is an American pronunciation specialist living in Colombia. So thank you so much for being here, Josh. Tell me a bit about yourself. How long you've been in Colombia?
What's up, Amanda? Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to come back and do another kind of collaboration with you. I had a lot of fun before, and I'm excited for this one. As you said, yeah, I am living in Colombia, which is in South America, and I have been here since 2014. So that is almost 10 years now living here full time, and I'm still loving it to this day.
Great. I love it. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. Do you ever think back like over the last 10 years and think, oh my God, I can't believe I've been here this long?
It's definitely very crazy to think how fast the time has gone. And one factor that kind of contributes to that is the lack of seasons. So I'm
Yeah,
originally
right.
from Michigan, and in Michigan has four distinct seasons. So all of my
Right.
memories from my childhood are connected to it was hot, or oh, I had that big
Yes.
coat on. But here
Yeah.
it's the same, and even the sunrise and the sunset, it's the same within a 30-minute period because we're so close to the equator. The
Yeah.
sun goes down at the same time all year. Sometimes it's raining,
Wow.
sometimes it's not. So all of
Yeah.
those memories get blended, and I can only connect them to like maybe the place where I was, but not like the time of
Yeah.
year. So time goes by really fast that way.
Yeah. So what would a cold day in Colombia be? How many degrees?
Depends where you are. Colombia is the second most biodiverse country in the world. Like they have the
Mm.
Amazon, and then they also have a
Mhm.
mountain where the top has snow. So
Nice. Okay.
Bogota is one of the highest cities in the world
Yeah.
in terms of, I don't remember the stats exactly, but I think it could probably get down close to, I don't know, 12, maybe 10 degrees Celsius at night if it's on a really cold
Oh,
night
that's
in
pretty
Bogota.
chilly. Yeah.
But then, like, on the coast, you can go to places like that have the desert and it can hit 40 in the daytime. So there's a wide range.
Yeah.
Where I am right
Yeah.
now, it probably gets up to 29, 30 in the day. And then at night, it's
Yeah.
probably like 17, 18. So it's pretty,
Oh, see, that's the
pretty
perfect
neutral.
weather for me. That is like my ideal climate. Here in India, I'm just too extreme. Summer is like 40 degrees plus. You could say 42, 45 degrees Celsius. Winter, it can get down to, I think it was about 3 degrees the other morning. I'm actually at the base of where the mountain range starts. So you can drive like an hour away and the mountains start. But the state next to where we are, there's snow. So they're like -10, -15 at the moment and it's snowing. But then in
Wow.
South India, it's just hot all year round. So yeah, it is pretty diverse too in terms of the weather climate. But where I am, I'm just really cold in winter and really hot in summer.
Yeah. The nickname for Medellin is the city of eternal spring because that's the weather that
I
it
love
has.
that. Spring is my favorite season. So that really would be my ideal season.
Gotta come check
Nice.
it out.
Yeah, one day. All right. So 10 years, long time in Colombia. What are some things you struggled with when you first moved? And is there anything that you still struggle with?
Good question. I was thinking about this, and I think the things that I struggled with the most was communication. Obviously, like I came
Mm,
here and I knew maybe just a couple words in Spanish, but
yeah.
it really humbles you a lot when you can't read. There's
Oh,
signs
yep.
here, and you don't know what they say. You feel like a little kid because you
Yeah.
constantly need help.
Yeah.
So I went through a lot of struggles of just being understood even when I did learn a word because I wasn't pronouncing it the right way, or understanding people
Mm,
because they weren't pronouncing it the way that I thought that the word was to be pronounced.
yeah.
So those were some big things that I think really I struggled with in the beginning, but obviously through experience I got past a
Mm,
lot of those things. The key for survival for me was numbers, right? That was at least allowed me to
okay.
survive. Like I understood numbers, I could hear them,
Yeah.
I could say them, and I knew more or less how much the price of things were. So I felt like I was a
Yeah.
little bit stable in that way. So that's what
Yeah.
I would recommend to people who are going to a new country, don't know anything. get on those numbers first. At least you can
Oh,
at
yeah,
least
mate. I need to get on the numbers. It's
daily
been
daily
4.5 years here.
transactions.
Yeah.
It's other things here. I just had to get used to the process of how things do. Like I remember one thing that was really interesting to me is that and it's still a little bit sometimes it frustrates me a little bit. I don't have to do it all the time, but here
Mm.
they take lunchtime really seriously. So like
All
even
right.
the bank closes for
Oh,
2 hours at
yes.
lunch and
Me
like
too. Australia would never.
for us that's like the time to go to the bank. I have an hour, I'm going
Yes.
to run to the bank. No,
Yep.
the bank's not going to be open here at lunchtime.
Yeah.
That I don't use to go to the bank that often, but I think that was something that surprised me and was a little bit
Yeah.
frustrating as well. I think other than that, I've really gotten comfortable and more used to it here. I like Colombia a lot. I really feel like I can be myself and just not have to worry about the I don't know, the how can I say it? Just the social pressures of the
Yeah.
US. And like nobody cares about my religious or political preferences. They're just interested
Yeah.
in me as
True.
a person. My
Yeah.
It gives me a lot of kind of freedom in my mind to just do my thing and focus on who I am and what I want to do. And in
Mhm.
general, the Colombian people are so friendly and happy and yeah, they're just really likable and agreeable people as
Yeah.
well. So there's not a lot of roadblocks or things that will cause conflict in my life. It's pretty
Yeah.
smooth once I got the language overall.
Yeah. Wow. I've got a few questions about this actually. What you said before about not knowing the language and it really humbles you and you feel like a kid. Isn't that really hard, honestly? That's something I struggled with the most. I lost a piece of independence by not understanding how to communicate. And it was really tough. If I was home alone and someone came to the door, I'd have to call my husband from outside. And if he didn't answer, I would just slowly close the door on the person because I didn't know how to say, sorry, I don't understand. I don't speak Hindi. I'd just be like,
Yeah.
shut the door. And it was just, I felt like I was restricted in what I could do and where I could go because I wasn't able to communicate. And it was really tough, like not having that independence. And like you said, it does feel like you're a little kid, not being able to read, not being able to communicate. Now there's still miscommunication. Like I got my own bank account a couple of months ago. And then the bank people called me just to see how my account was going. And there was a miscommunication. I thought they were asking me to come in to talk about setting up a credit card. Apparently, I invited them to my house. They turned up the next day. And this was just a few months ago. I was actually doing my interview with Sam. And then when they came, and then my husband was like, she must have accidentally said the wrong thing. They're like, no, she invited us here. My husband's like, Hindi is not her first language. She's probably just gotten confused.
Wow. That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah. So, yes, I completely relate to that. But in terms of your Spanish skills, what level do you think you are?
Oh, that's a tough
Would you say
question. Yeah,
if you could self-rate?
and I should have a good answer since I'm a teacher, a language teacher. I think that my level is very good. Here's the thing about my Spanish. I got here and I just started learning on the go, like in the street. So like the
Mm,
first things that people
yeah.
taught me were bad words. So if you talk to some people that knew me in my first couple years here, like the only way I could communicate was just like saying really like street things. These were the references that I had for communication.
Yeah.
But I also started quickly learning like the key things. Like I didn't go through the textbook linear path
Yeah.
of learning of you must learn these words and then these words. I'm like, no, this is the stuff that
Yeah.
I use every day. This is the stuff that I need.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
there's people that have told me that they've studied Spanish like longer than me even. But like when they come
Yeah.
actually on the ground, like I will
Mm,
blow them out of the water because I'm
yeah.
used to the way that they communicate here. And I think my pronunciation is a little bit better than a lot of people that have
Mhm,
better grammar than me. A lot of people have better
yeah.
grammar. My grammar's not perfect, but like I know
Yeah.
a good amount of slang. I know the local kind of ways to say things. So it's
Yeah.
hard to put an official number on it, but I would say it's medium high, right? It's not
Yeah.
native at all, but it's medium
Mhm,
high. and I still have,
enough to get
you know,
by day to day.
room to work, but I can live my life in 100% Spanish. And sometimes I don't understand something, but it's really easy for me to say, "What do you mean by that?" And they can tell me, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's this word." Oh, okay. I know what you mean. That's my level. I don't know how to classify it any more than that.
Yeah. Nice. What about some cultural differences? You already said before about the social aspect between Colombian culture and American culture. Any other differences that you've noticed?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's really interesting. So I mentioned that like in Colombia, it is very rude to say no. Even if the answer is
Mm,
no, they will
yes.
say every other word possible to not say no.
Oh, it's like
Like
here actually.
even to the point where sometimes I feel like they're lying to me. You're telling me that this I remember one time I bought a closet and they brought it to the house and they looked at the door and they're saying like it's going to be difficult to get it in. And I'm like, "All right, do it." No, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, okay, great. Take your time, no problem. But what they were trying to tell me is no, it's not possible. We can't do it. But they didn't really
Yeah.
want to just say no. And even yeah, if someone like offers you something here, like if you're walking down the street and they're handing stuff out, like it's rude not to take it. You should take that.
Right.
And even like if you're riding the bus, people get on the bus and they'll sell candies or things and they'll walk down the
Mm.
aisle and they'll pass one out to every single person. For my American brain, I'm like, "Oh, this is the sales technique. You get the product in the customer's hand and they're more likely to buy." But here's like a
Yeah.
cultural thing. Like you take
Okay.
something that someone offers you for, they call it, it's called educación, like for education, which is basically manners here.
Okay.
It's good
Yeah,
manners.
right.
So yeah, that's one. Those are some things. Another thing that I really like about Colombia is
Mhm.
like I've been here for almost 10 years and I've obviously been in like the nightlife scene and things like that, enjoying that. In my whole 10 years, I've seen 2 fights. That's it.
Mm.
2 fights. I've lived in the capital, the second
Wow.
biggest city here. I've gone to these places. They're not into conflict. They have this
Yeah.
violent history where there's people that could be dangerous people, so you don't really mess with them. But lots of stuff that happens here in Colombia would be an automatic fight in the US. So
Yeah.
in terms of like in traffic, when public transit, someone stepping on your shoe, um,
Yeah.
people bumping into you, things like that. But if I was in the US, if I want to, I could see a fight every weekend if I go
Yeah.
to certain places. That's something
Yeah.
I really like. They're really chill and they're not aggressive culture at all. All right, let's just say this. Okay, so in Colombia, the people walk really slow. So slow. Like for me, it's really hard for me to keep at their pace. And all of my Colombian friends and that have been with me, they say, "Man, you walk so fast." But for me, it's just like, hey, I know where I'm going. I got this amount of time to get these things done, and I'm gonna go do them.
Yeah.
Like what? It's an easy way to identify like a foreigner too here. Someone that's like walking really fast. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy is not from here. But you could see other YouTubers comment on it as well that are here in Colombia. The
Mhm.
Colombian people walk very slow. They take their time. They're not in a rush.
Wow. Oh, I think that would frustrate me because I'm just always on the go. But I feel like that has come from working in hospitality. My first job was working in a cafe and it was just always go working. Every job I had really, it's always been like nonstop working in cafes, hotels, call centers. So to then have to like slow down, oh, I don't know if I could do it.
It's challenging. Sometimes I manage. It's only when like I'm in free time mode. If I'm running
Yes.
errands or something, then it's not happening.
Yeah. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Okay. I love this question. I'm going to start asking, I think, in all of my interviews. But what are some of your assumptions of Australia? And I will tell you if you're right or wrong.
This is hard. So my experience with Australia is like when I was young, I grew up like watching Crocodile Dundee in the 90s.
Yep.
That's not a knife was my
Obsessive
main
enough.
reference. Yeah, my main reference. And we thought he was so cool. It was just, wow, look at this guy. And then traveling here in Colombia, I've met some Australians that actually have turned out to be really good friends of mine, even though maybe I don't keep in touch with them as much as I should. But my assumptions of Australians, you guys like every other or every third word needs to be a swear word. Like it's if you're communicating like on a casual level, it's not authentic Australian unless you throw in a swear word and you guys are more relaxed. Like you guys aren't like so like politically correct or on edge.
Mm,
I think about some things. Like a lot of Australians have
mhm,
commented that to me. Oh, you Americans, like you guys are sensitive to some of these things. We're just saying a word. It's just
mhm.
cunt. It's just cunt. What's the problem? It's just cunt. So that's
Oh,
one.
no. Yeah.
So I'm right about
Uh,
that.
Look, yes, I think okay, I don't want to say that every Australian swears because I don't think they do. I think even my level of swearing is probably medium to high, but it's not extreme. I think my swearing would make some Australians uncomfortable, which is really funny because as kids, we got in so much trouble for swearing. And now I think as people get older, they just like, there's no fucks given. I think it is also changing with generations too. Like my grandmother, she's
Yeah.
98. I think she'll be 98 this year. And I don't think I have ever heard a swear word come out of her mouth. She's Australian, whereas my
Yeah.
Italian grandmother would swear all the time. And I remember once I
Interesting.
made a vlog on my other YouTube channel and I was talking about my nonna, my Italian grandmother. And someone wrote a comment that was like, I don't know how your nonna would feel about your potty mouth, as in like me swearing. And I was like, mate, she was worse than me. And then when I went home in September for my brother's wedding, that was my mum's mum. So I was with my mum and most of her sisters and my cousins and stuff. And I was telling them, this is what someone said. And they were all like, oh my God, your nonna was the worst. But because she's Italian, she used to blend like English and Italian swear words together. I think, yes, I think you are right with this assumption that Australians do love to swear. And with one of my reels that have gone viral, that's a comment that I get a lot is, oh, there's not enough swearing in that dialogue. And yeah, I would say that we do love a good swear word. I do love a good swear word.
Okay. All right. And so the other big one I have is that getting dressed up and putting on formal shoes for not all, but many Australians is like flip flops. And that's like really fancy because most of the time,
Oh, yes.
a lot of people don't wear shoes. Like, I, from what I understand, like I've seen my Australian friends and like every chance they get, they're taking the shoes off and it's like a pain for them if they need to wear
Mm,
shoes. So I
yeah.
imagine walking into the bank in Melbourne and not having shoes on.
Yes, this is another assumption that is true. You're right. So I grew up on the beach. I never wore shoes on the weekend. Like I used to live, it was like a 2-minute walk to the beach. So I wouldn't wear shoes. And then we'd go and get like some hot chips for lunch. We'd walk to the fish and chip shop and wouldn't be wearing any thongs or shoes or anything. I think Chris Hemsworth and his wife were in the Daily Mail a couple of weeks ago for their dirty habit, which is not wearing any shoes because they live in Australia. Oh, it's so funny. And all the Australians in the comments were like, oh, whatever. But it's actually really funny because I used to live in a city called Darwin, which was like it's the capital city of the Northern Territory, but it's 10 years behind every other state. And it's just so chill, so relaxed there that the nightclub, you could wear thongs to the nightclub except for Friday and Saturday nights. That's when there was a dress code. By thongs are flip-flops, by the way.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that.
Yes, yes. And in winter, it's socks with thongs.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You guys don't like shoes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, yeah, that's a very true assumption.
Yeah. And then the last one is just based on like the commercial that just remember from my childhood for Foster's, Australian for beer. Like just you guys just like beer a lot. That's based on the
Yeah.
commercials that I've seen in the US as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, look, definitely every state has its own like state beer. Like, for example, Victoria has BB, which is Victoria Bitter. That's the Victorian beer.
Mm.
New South Wales, I think, is 2 is new. Queensland is 4X Gold. So every state has like a brewery. I forget the Northern Territory one. Have no idea about Western Australia. But yeah, a lot of microbreweries are opening up. Like in my hometown, which has, I don't know, 5,000 people, and they're opening a second brewery. So yeah, like this
I'm
kind of
thirsty,
craft beer
mate.
is give me a beer. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. I personally don't like beer, but give me a cider on a hot summer's day. Oh, yes. But yeah, microbreweries are definitely popping up everywhere in craft beer. But yeah, people do love a good beer. Your knockoff drinks back in like the 60s and let's say 70s and 80s, it was really normal to take beer onto the work site and you'd have the knockoff beer at work. Like that was so common. Now there's workplace health and safety regulations, but the fun police. But yes, that's definitely another true assumption. Very good.
Awesome.
All right, let's play a little game. I've got 3 Aussie slang words here, and we can just take turns saying, I'll say the 3. I want you to guess them, what you think they are. And then if you've got some American slang, I'll give it a go too.
All right, let's do it here. So I'm gonna guess the meaning of the words.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, just for everyone watching here, last year, Josh and I did a collaboration that's still ongoing on Instagram where we were guessing different words and we're basically checking each other's pronunciation. So, this is just checking the meaning. The first one, I actually don't know if this is used in America or not, but anyway, it's used very commonly in Australia and it's a hoon. Hoon.
A hoon.
Yes.
No, it's not used in the US. Can you give me an example
Okay.
sentence?
Yes. Let's say, my God, look at that guy who's driving like a hoon.
Okay, so is it like idiot?
Yeah, like an irresponsible driver or a reckless driver. Bloody hoons are out this weekend.
So
So,
like a hooligan or something, maybe.
again, that's probably what I was thinking of, hooligans. So, like, I'm in a community group from my hometown and people are complaining because there's a car driving around town. What's when you backfiring the car, when the exhaust like
Yeah.
makes that noise, that banging noise? Oh, look, who's the hoon driving around the street backfiring their car?
Can it be a verb as
Yeah.
well? Look at the boys out there hooning
Yeah,
again.
yeah, it can be. Yes, yeah. Hooning around
Awesome.
town.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Next one I've got is an idiot box.
I think that sounds more a little self-explanatory, but is it someone that's like in an echo chamber of just stupidity?
No, it's not. So an idiot box, it's a noun and you have it in your living room, mostly in living rooms,
Ah,
but some people
okay.
have it
So it's
in
like the boob tube,
what is a boob tube?
the TV.
Yeah. And we say tube, by the way. Boob
Oh
tube,
yeah,
boob tube.
chew.
Okay, so in Australia, a boob tube or a boob tube is a female top that doesn't have any straps and it just goes
Uh,
across. So that's what we call a boob tube. But I've never heard
yeah.
it used in a
That's a-
TV context.
I think
Okay.
it's not so common anymore. When I was a kid, it was a thing, but that's where like they lots of boobs come on TV. That's what they're showing us. So it's the boob tube.
Oh, that's great. So yes, the idiot box. Probably because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know,
Actually,
maybe it makes you an idiot or something.
I think I have heard that now that you explained it to me. It sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah. Okay. Good. The last one, jab.
JAB
JAB, jab.
as a noun,
Yes.
a
Yes. I have to
jab.
think. I think it's a
Uh,
noun.
can you give me an
Yeah,
example
because it wouldn't be a
sentence?
verb. Yes. I have to try and think of one without giving it away. I might just have to give it away. Okay. I had to get 3 jabs before I could return back to work.
Is that an injection?
Yes. I didn't want to say
Okay.
COVID jab or like flu
Yeah.
jab. Yes. So an injection with a needle, usually a vaccination. When the COVID jabs were starting, that was actually on the front page of the paper, like COVID jabs rolling out today.
Yeah, I think they use that. It came out in the US like that as well, but more
Yeah.
like maybe not in such a more negative kind of light, not in such a
Oh,
positive
right.
context. Like,
Yeah, no, it's just used like even before COVID, it was the flu jab. So it's just something that, yeah, let's say it's a
yeah,
collocation with the vaccination.
yeah, I think that one can work for both Australia and
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So what have you got for me?
All right, my turn. Here, I'll just give you an example sentence here. The situation
Okay.
is if we're on the street or we're
Hmm.
walking down the street, we could say, "Yo, that's a tight whip."
I
A
think I know
tight
this. I think
whip.
I've heard this before. Does that mean like a tight whip, like a really nice car?
Really nice car, exactly. So, like, tight can mean is something that's cool. Like that's tight. This is tight.
Yeah.
That's an adjective to mean cool. And then like whip, I think it's a little bit older. I don't know if they still say it these days, but
Yeah.
whip can definitely mean car.
Yeah. I used to watch Pimp My Ride a lot, so I'm pretty sure I've heard of
Ah,
it. Yes. Whatever happened to Exhibit? I haven't heard from him in a long time. Is he still around?
I don't think he makes music. I haven't heard any music from him, but he's a classic 90s rapper, so he's still relevant, but I
Yeah.
don't think he has any new content though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yes.
Tight whip. All right, to peep something out or to peep something. Have you heard this one?
Oh, yes, I think this is going to be like our, what do we say? To have a squiz.
A
It
squid
means to speak something. Does it mean to check out something or to look at something?
to check it out. Yeah, have you peeped that new song by Exhibit or something like that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Mhm.
Yeah. So we say squiz, like I'm just going to have a squiz at the new cafe this weekend. Yeah. Take a peek.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't peeped it yet. All right, and then one more here. You could say I'm going to the mall because I'm gonna cop the new Jordans. So not new, some new gear, or I'm gonna cop a new
Right.
whip.
Okay. So based on that context, I'm going to assume it means to buy something.
Yeah,
Yes.
buy exactly. Cop to cop something is to
Yeah.
obtain by purchase.
We use cop in a different context. So, I've just been copping shit all weekend, like dealing with shit or
Uh,
the definition to cop something,
like dealing
yeah,
with?
something to deal with, yeah, to
Okay.
comprehend or to experience something. So, yeah, if we say to experience, like, oh, I've just been copying shit from the boss this week. I've just been
Hmm.
experiencing a bad experience with the boss. Yeah.
So for me,
So
if you said
completely
that in the
different.
US, yeah, is what you been buying something from him? Is this maybe even illegal? I've been copping.
Yeah.
But where'd you get that? I usually cop from the boss. Like, oh, okay. Interesting. Very
Oh my gosh,
interesting.
that's so funny. That would make a really awkward kinds of conversation if like you're in Australia or in Australia was in the US and you're having this kind of conversation.
Exactly.
Complete misunderstanding happening.
Exactly. Yeah, you go ask him for the wrong thing.
Yeah, look, it's a bit like the thongs flip-flop situation, isn't it?
I think the rubber one is the best.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, rubber. Yeah. So I was going to say I don't have a rubber here and a razor. Sorry.
You're married, so
Oh, that's great. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share before we start wrapping things up?
I think that was a pretty good overview of things. Obviously, there's other slang words or cultural things related to Colombia or my experience that I could probably go on and on,
Yeah,
but I think that gives people a good
it's a nice summary.
taste, yeah, a sample of what it's like.
Definitely. All right. How can people contact you if they want to contact you? I'll put your details in the description of the video anyway. But yeah, give us some contact details.
Yeah, I'm all over the social media. The big ones, I have Instagram, it's Accent Coach Boost Up English. I have LinkedIn, Josh Lewis, or LinkedIn, American Accent Coach. YouTube, you can find me, American Accent Coach, or the channel is called Boost Up English. And I have a website, American Accent Coach Boost Up English. So if you just type those words in, hopefully Google will push me out in the algorithm search results. So that's it.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for me, the morning for you. That was really fun. It's always a pleasure.
I always love doing collaborations with you. I'm looking forward to the next one. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you.